Call this meeting to order. We'll begin with a quick roll call. Mr. Barton.
Here.
Mr. Freshour.
Here.
Dr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Chapman.
Present.
Dr. Minnie.
Here.
All right, everybody's here. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So we have no delegations at this time, so that'll move us into expulsion hearings. And we'll start with E007, 2025-2026. So at this time, the parent has the option of a closed hearing or an open hearing. You want a closed hearing? Okay. So based on that request, I invite a motion to convene an executive session for the purpose of conducting a student discipline hearing per West Virginia Code 6-9A-4B.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to convene an executive session to conduct a student discipline hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. So Lisa will get you ready. Brandy, you'll have to step out until we're finished with the hearing. Thank you. Alrighty, so it's been properly moved and seconded to rise from executive session to hear the superintendent's recommendation. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, this time we'll hear the recommendation of the superintendent.
Get organized here. All right, I recommend to the Board of Education during this hearing process to expel student E007, 2025-26, for no more than 2 consecutive semesters and place that student in the ALC program in Gilmer County Board Office. And if that student's behavior does not improve due to habitual violation of school rules and sexual misconduct, he would be then placed at the ALC after-school program at the Career Center. I also recommend completing that review every 9 weeks with attendance and academic record, and the superintendent would then have the ability to lessen the expulsion or change the placement based on the following factors. Student maintains a grade point average of 2.0. The student is not considered chronically absent, and the student has no further discipline infractions.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation presented here to us. Is there any further discussion or amendments from any board members on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the superintendent's recommendation, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
So that means that you'll be placed here at the board office. You'll need to keep your grades up. You'll need to not have any behavior infractions. If you would happen to come, you had a few behavior infractions this year. If those continue in this placement, then we're going to change the placement to ALC at the Career Center after hours. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that means come do your work, and you should have a teacher back there that can help you get through all your classes. You're in 10th grade? Okay. What's that? You're going into 10th. Okay.
He has a hearing July the 8th for breaking his probation, where he was placed on probation, getting in trouble at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very good possibility that he will be sent to a juvenile detention center.
Well, if that's the case, I don't know how long that would take place. Sometimes those are short placements, sometimes they're longer placements. If that's the case, when he comes back, then we would go through the expulsion period at that point in time. Okay?
All righty. At that time, that expulsion hearing section is adjourned. You all are more welcome to stay if you need to, or if you need to go, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good evening.
Okay. All right, now I gotta get back here to see where I'm at.
All right. At this time, we have nothing under reports, discussion, or follow-up information, so we'll move into the consent agenda and start with the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of May 26, 2026.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 26, 26.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the regular meeting minutes of May 26, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that made motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we're on to bills for payment. Ginger, you have the floor.
Okay, so we sent quite a few bills out to everyone trying to finish up, as part of your original agenda, and then we had some laying in front of you. This is just us continuing to get those payments in before the end of the year. The rest of them, we're gonna ask you for permission to pay here just a little bit, so we can keep things operating.
Make a motion to approve the bills for payment.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bills for payment as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that made motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we have no open enrollment at this time. Move us into new business, and we have consideration or possible action of extending the attendance bonus to service personnel for 2026-2027 school year. Dr. Menny.
Superintendent recommends making a motion to approve the continuation of the expanded attendance incentive bonus for service personnel not to exceed 2% of the individual service personnel employment contract effective for the 26-27 school year and reconsider on a yearly basis based on the district financial fiscal needs. We've done this every year, and it's for attendance incentives. We did it last year, and this gears us up to be able to get the ones ready for the following year.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the continuance of an expanded attendance incentive bonus for service personnel not to exceed 2% of the individual service personnel employment contract effective for the 2026-2027 school year and be reconsidered on a yearly basis based on the district budget and physical needs. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion?
What is this? What is that bonus for our employees?
So this is for service personnel, and it's anybody.
This one, but what's the one for the teachers and service? I mean, this just mimics the service.
Yeah, we
teachers.
have one for we have one for professionals too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's 500.
500.
It's 500.
Okay.
Yep.
2%.
The 2% is the number of days they can.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
2%. Yeah.
That's why we.
Depending on how many day employee they are.
Yeah, that's why we had to do that service. We have a lot of service that are 230, so they get an extra,
Okay, any further discussion or comments?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
And just to give you a quick heads up, the reason why we do that just for service is because teachers give it in code. They get it in state code. Service people, we do that to match the teachers.
I remember doing that last year.
All right, next we have permission for the superintendent to approve the workers' compensation carrier for the 2026-2027 school year. Dr. Manning.
Just asking the board, we don't have any more meetings in June, asking the board to make a motion to give superintendent permission to approve workers' compensation carrier for the 26-27 school year. The bids will not be back prior to the July 1 deadline. The bids will be back.
The bids will be back, we just don't have.
We won't have a meeting until then. So we take the recommendation of our insurance provider, our insurance agent. And so when we get that, I would be pretty much taking the recommendation of the agent anyways and putting that before you guys. So just asking to do that so I can.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve giving the superintendent permission to approve the workers' compensation carrier for 2026-2027 school year. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. Next, we have approval of the annual embedded credit MOU with Calhoun Gilmer Career Center.
This is one we do every year. The annual embedded credit with Calhoun Gilmer Career Center is embedded math and English credits. You can, if you look, you can review, but this is, there's several different areas down there that students can go and they can take career and technical classes and get an English credit for as well. This is one we do every year, and I recommend making a motion to approve the embedded credit MOU with Calhoun Gilmer Career Center as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the embedded credit MOU with Calhoun Gilmer Career Center as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, now we have approval of bills for payment arising from June 9th, 2026 through July 3rd, 2026. Ginger.
So this is what I spoke of earlier, since we do not have another meeting, we would like permission from the superintendent to approve those bills, and they can be sent out prior to the end of the year, and then they will all be presented to you at that first meeting in July. It won't be for approval at that point, it'll just be for, to your knowledge.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, all right, is there a second? Yep, been properly moved and seconded to give the superintendent approval to pay the bills from June 9th, 2026 through July 3rd, 2026. Is there any discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, now we have approval of budget supplements and transfers arising from June 9th, 2026 through June 30th, 2026.
I'll say so moved.
Lots of changes that have to be made to the budget, we'll get a grant in or something, we'll need switched around, so that's the same concept.
So do I have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to give the superintendent again permission to approve the budget supplements and transfers through June 9th, 2026 through June 30th, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we have no old business. That'll move us into personnel. Dr. Manning.
Recommendation for hire, professional, sixth grade teacher at Gilmer County High School, Rebecca Chesser.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the professional portion of the personnel agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, under service.
Recommendation for hire, Carolyn Lowther, ECAT classroom transportation aide for the 26-27 school year, Gilmer County Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. On to prior service credit.
Prior service credit, recommend to approve Norman Eisenhart in the position of bus operator with 10 years prior service credit.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the prior service credit portion of the personnel agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. On to permission to post.
Over the past year, had several folks ask about formulating a middle school golf team. And this would be a permission to post a golf coach. I think the supplement's $1,200, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a group of kids that are active that would like to have a season in this upcoming school year beginning in the fall. So try to get this permission to post, and I make a recommendation that we would allow this team to exist and get permission to post from you guys. That way we could hire before the season would start.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the permission to post a middle school golf coach. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, take us out of personnel. And we'll go to continuous improvement, and we have Mr. Fox with the high school schedule information for next year. Mr. Fox.
I've got all kinds of stuff here. Try not to take up too much time here.
You go right ahead.
First thing I want to touch base on here, I do have been working diligently with the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center with numbers, looking at some things. Actually, I worked with them today as well. and Mrs. Minnie and Dr. Gungle were really good with getting some data here available for me. Just wanted to share. And actually, I can just, there should be enough right here, I think, 3, 4, 5. That should be. And these are just comparable percentages here of where we are compared to our classes last year. Now, this was enrolled last year compared to where we are currently right now. We do have talked with both of those individuals today, comparing numbers at this point last year to this year. We are actually a few ahead. I am working diligently. I know that we need to get more. I want more students enrolled in this. I am, and if we have students who are interested, we want to be able to get those students down there, whether that's in grade 10, 11, or 12. Have been working directly with them. I have the actual list of all students who, whether filled out an application and had that interest. I am cross-referencing that for every student who is not enrolled at this time. And I'm going through the list, and if they have not enrolled, I will personally be reaching out to each one of those families this summer. I've actually already contacted some of those individuals this prior the day before we left for break about reasons and some things like that. And when we look at that, the scheduling, they're talking about what's available at that time. We do have some options. It's 2026, and I do think we have some flexibility of ways we can do that. And not only do I believe, I know we can get some of these students enrolled in that, and that's what I'm working on this summer. It's a priority of mine. And like I said, I will be reaching out to each one of these families personally to touch base with them. And if that's a preference that they want to get there, we're going to do everything we can to get them there.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mr. Fox.
Also have this year's schedule. There is one little difference to it here, and I apologize. I have, and I'll let you guys pass those down here. With this year's schedule, the one difference is down at the bottom. We are looking at with Spanish. I have actually filled the paperwork out for this to do the blended model of our Spanish on our foreign language, which would allow a Spanish teacher to come in. The goal would be the Spanish teacher would be able to come into the room virtually with that proctor and that person a couple of days a week. And they will be able to lead activities at that time. There's a lot of, provide resources, and then our proctor would be able to be there to continue that support through. And then the last two things I wanted to touch base on are actually really good things here that I'm excited about. I know Dr. Minnie has really filled us in on things that, where do we need to improve on and areas that we need to provide opportunities for our students on. One of those today, we worked on Professional Learning Day today, Professional Development Day. We had several staff members today. We are building right now, currently, we started it today. We will have it hopefully completed by tomorrow afternoon, a schedule for organizations and clubs. And what that is going to be is it's going to look a little different. It's going to take us a few weeks. I know that first week of advisory there's a lot of paperwork it happens to start school off with. The goal will be after the first couple of weeks of school, we will have a calendar where those organizations can meet, whether it's, we're working the kinks out. There is a lot of pieces to it, pardon me, because there are pieces of how do you hold students accountable for being where they're supposed to be. We just don't want to cut them loose, but how do we make that work? We are working on that right now. We have staff members who are on board with being individuals who provide those clubs and those organizations, whether that means meet twice a week, twice a month as a small group. And then they have evening activities that they do with that, inviting parents in as well. Do they meet weekly? Are there some things that we want to meet weekly? So we're trying to balance that, get it on paper. We had about 15 staff members today who were grinding that out and doing a heck of a job, had some great ideas of how do we make this happen? How do we not just force a student to go to a club or an organization that they don't want us to be at, but how do we provide it where we can find those students? And part of this is going to be that first week of school talking to students. So we want to find out what they want to do and make sure that we're getting the variety of opportunities for our students on that. And not just the clubs, but we do want we want some specialized organizations. I remember when I was in school, we had all these national organizations and these state organizations. We want to bring those back. I'm a little old school with this. I want those organizations when we have homecoming parades. I want those organizations to have their floats coming down the main street in town, and to be able for people to be able to see those organizations. So we are hopefully we'll have that ready to roll here, not just to start the 9 weeks off with. We have to, there's always that little break in it, but we were hoping to have that by July 1st, a game plan put in place to have those clubs, organizations, and we're going to keep expanding on those as well. And the last thing I just want to touch base with is I received a confirmation this past week. We have two very large, actually, they're a little bit larger than the black things over here on the wall here. If you're here, you can see those. But they're perpetual academic plaques. And they will be actually, Miss Dendra Miller will be picking those up tomorrow. And when we get guys back on campus, we are going to get those put on. One of them are for our Promise Scholar recipients. Those will be here from now until we fill it up, and we'll get another one put up there, as well as our SAT champions. We look at our state data there and students who are mastering both areas. We are putting those SAT champions on the wall. We have last year's list. We started working on this. I know we talked about it and during our linkage meeting that it was coming, but I know it takes time to get those things taken care of and ordered and all the pieces. They are complete, and they should be in our possession tomorrow afternoon to get put up in the main entrance.
Thank you.
A couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Your schedule here, is this based on student requests, or is it just based on what teachers can teach?
This is, and it is based off of, a lot of this is based off of where we are certified to teach.
Okay. An effective school is actually based off of student requests. You do a 4-year plan?
We do our PET plans. Now, when we do our PET plans, we are working on cleaning our PET plans up right now. We want to make sure that these are scripted out for the 4 years when they walk out. This has been a huge conversation piece. We have put those in. I know Mrs. Fox has been working on those PET plans with those 8th graders. When she sits down, there is, and I just tell you this, there is a gap between when those PET plans are made and what it looks right here. Well, I'm trying to work those. I am 100% on board that I'm trying to right now make sure what matches what we're putting on those PET plans has to be able to take place on here on that schedule.
I will say this about the course offering, and I've pondered this a lot. The amount of teachers that we have and what we can offer there's a balancing act there because we're so small.
Sure.
A lot of these are kind of the standard Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and those types of things. You're not going to see a lot of offerings unless we get a lot of kids. Like, for example, a couple of years ago, we had a lot of kids that wanted to get into dance. We created a dance. Like, we didn't think there would be any kids in dance. Now, it's a good program. It's got kids. They perform at our plays. They perform during homecoming. But there's not a lot of elective courses because there's just not a lot of extra space. We don't have a lot of teachers where we used to have like 3 teachers in English. We got 2 teachers in English.
But
So we got to be creative is what I'm saying.
Do you have a course of study like you do with your PET plan?
So they're either going CT right now when they come in, they're choosing the CT or the college bound at this point here is what they do in the 8th grade. So when they select that, they're basing it off of whether it would be the ag or
Right.
the group.
And like I said, every time you have a singleton, Dr. Minnie's right, every time you have a singleton, you got a headache. It's hard to, the more singletons you have, the harder it is to build a schedule. But, like I said, I know there was 33 kids who want to go to the Career Center, and originally they signed up for it, and I know you're diligently working, trying to fix the problem. But,
But I had inquired about that as well. And it was my understanding that 33 kids showed interest, not necessarily 33 kids wanting to go. Is that your understanding?
So, and I have started talking with, so, and I always tell you with that list there, and it's just a list. I know I was with Dr. Minnie going through some of those. There were some repetition of some names there. I don't know how you get them on there multiple times. There were some individuals who told me directly, hey, I filled this out. I filled it out as an interest thing. I've decided I want to take college courses. And then I'm seeing that's a lot of things right now too. And that's probably it's not probably something I'm trying to work on of balancing that right now. You know, if we have students who are wanting to take those those dual credit courses, and how do we balance this schedule here?
Well, it comes back to being either student-driven or teacher-driven, or admin-driven.
Sure.
It might make my life easier if I put coaches having a planning period for last block of the day. It might make my life easier, but that means I created lots of scheduling nightmares. In 20 years of making out high school schedules, I never had a master schedule done. Maybe you're better than me, but I never had one done at this point in time. It took me most of the summer to get it built because it was always built on what kids requested. And 1 year schedule this year, odds were it would not be, teacher might be teaching maybe the same classes, but they definitely weren't taught same blocks. One thing, Dr. Minnie, I would suggest for you to look at in the budget area for next year. I think it's an impossibility for Mr. Fox to make a master schedule and do what he has to do in the short time he has to do it. I think he ought to be increased to a 261-day employee because this is his job. In 20 years, I'm the one that made it out. The only person that had access to that other than me was my assistant principal, nobody else, because I'm the one who had to take all the heat, good, bad, or indifferent. So to have it done with what you were trying to get done at the end of school and graduation, to have a piece of paper in front of us today is I'll give you that, boy, because basically it's kind of impossible. But like I said, if you make it student-driven, then that's what kids are requesting. But when you do your course of study, your plan, those are the courses that you have teachers to be able to offer. And I mean, you can't offer something that you don't have a certified person that can do it. So I know Weavis is a pain in the derriere, but if you enter, your course request tells you how many sections of English you got to have, or how many sections of Ag 1 you got to have, or whatever else. And you have to know that before you can make one of these out that's going to work. And if you plug in what teachers are teaching and how many sections you're going to have, and you tell the old green machine to do its thing, it will create a schedule. Now, granted, it ain't worth a dime other than it'll show you a tentative way. Then you get to spend the rest of your time trying to move classes around to make it work. But I think we put him at an impasse. It's an impossibility for him to be able to do what needs to be done in my mind with the time restraints that we've put on him because of his employment term. But like I said, for an effective school, it needs to be based on student request. Your PEP plan has to be done, and parents normally come in and have to sign off on those. They're agreeing. And when you schedule, seniors ought to have 100% priority. Then you go down the line, whatever you want to give your juniors, like 190, 80, 70, 60. Your junior high kiddies they ought to be almost 100% because they don't have many options to deal with. But that's something for Dr. Minnie to, like I said, for budget constraints to think about. But
So I'd like to just make a real world comment. And, Colton's in 8th grade. And so the extent of this plan thing was he brought home a piece of paper that listed classes, and he threw it at me and he said, Mrs. Fox says to ask you if this is okay. I was like, well, what does this even mean? I don't know what this means. I said, I don't know if you're taking what you're supposed to be taking. So as a parent, I had to, reach out to the guidance counselors and say, what is this? What's the I mean, what are we doing here? Is Colton signed up for what he needs to be signed up for? Because that was the extent of what I got.
And with what she said, typically,
And I mean, he's a boy, but
right, but parents would have, but if, back to my original thing, if a parent was sitting in the office and you were having communication, those questions would be answered. Me bringing it home, I'm gonna take what I want, girls 101, 102, 103, 104.
I
Colton
think,
doesn't get that
I think
choice.
what's happened is, I've been on both sides of it. I've been with the old green screen program, and now I'm in the new Weavis. The PEP, the directions to the PEP for the parent is on Weavis. The likelihood of our parents logging in there and
You
looking.
can't even get on
Right.
Weavis as a parent.
So, what the conversations we're having is, how can we get people to come? Would you come to a ninth grade scheduling day? Yeah, you would have probably shown up and you would have gotten the information. You could have made some informed decisions as a parent and kind of guided your kid along.
And I mean, everybody's busy. A phone call will work.
Yeah.
An email or work. Say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what it means.
But the PEP not being on paper, it's not the same as what it used to be.
Right, but you can, I don't care where it's on Weavis or not, it has to be transferred over. But the communication with the parent, course request form is an 8.5 sheet by 11 sheet of paper. And if you said, I'm going to go to college, for instance, I'm college bound, that's every college, that's every high math class, every high science class, every other class that you think that would be beneficial that student is going to have to take. And even if you're going to the Career Center, I'm going to be a welder. Well, how many math classes do I need to be a welder? All I can handle, geometry being one of them. I would never be a welder because geometry and I would not see eye to eye.
I think somehow we need to have the parents more involved
Right.
in that process, whether it's a phone call or a text or I don't care, but
But the actual course request is what I'm saying is done by the student in Weavis, correct, Mr. Fox?
what do you mean? What are you?
It's actually done by the student in Weavis. And that's where I'm saying there's a little bit something that we're going to have to figure out. Because the student logs in and enters that stuff. And we
Well, see,
got,
my 8th grader doesn't get to make decisions like that.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what I think every parent should.
Well, but here again, if you took the sheet of paper and you had the information that's on it, let's say, and as a freshman, they don't get many options.
No, they don't.
They can take art, PE, and ag, and
For 4 classes.
right. So they only got it depends on when I'm going to take my art class. It depends on when I'm going to take my PE class. Most of freshmen is pretty well,
That's right.
it's like the junior high. It's pretty well set other than I hate to call them elective because some of them are required, but when I take those classes. So that can be done. As a sophomore, these are my required classes I got to have. And depending on what field I'm going into, if I'm going into welding, like I said, you better be taking, because the kid can't say, I can't, I don't need, what do I need algebra? Well, here's a tape measure. You better know how to do fractions.
So would the easiest thing to do then be send a paper home that says, what are you and your child's intentions for their high school education? Is it Career Center? And if it's Career Center, then are they interested in welding, construction, whatever? And then we can base the schedule off that. Or if it's college or just something that the parent has some input.
Well,
Because if I didn't know what I was looking at with
Yeah,
Colton and,
What you come down to is, and I hate to say this, but we're not talking to several graduates. Their actual feeling, and some of these were high academic ones, was that we weren't preparing them for anything. They weren't prepared for the job market. They weren't prepared for the other because, like I said, I'm going to teach algebra, blah, 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 blah. And their program of study did not prepare them for what they were going to have. I think if the kid, stuff has to be entered in Weavis. We entered a lot of it by hand. But like Dr. Miller's saying, I think dealing with the parent they're making a decision, with their child as to every year, this is the courses I'm going to take. Now, you come to a point, if Larry fails some of them, then all bets are off, because something I wanted, I'm not going to get because I had to do X, Y, and Z.
I mean, my mother came in and sat down with me when I made mine. So,
Mine
I
too.
mean, and I did.
I know.
So I completely, as a parent right now, I've got one in 4th grade, moving on to 5th. Then he'll be.
She
up
didn't
there
let
in
me
there.
pick any of my classes.
Well, I wouldn't let mine either, because this is what you're gonna
I
do.
get it. I mean, I get it.
So when he
But
throws
that-
the thing
that
at me
is-
with,
that is-
with classes,
When they buy
I don't know
in,
what you're
you have a
talking
chance to
about.
do that. And the way we're doing it now, my assumption, my opinion, we all know what them are like. But it would appear that it's not, I don't know the word I want. We're it's like throwing darts at something. We don't really have a clear delineated plan.
but I think if we include the parents more, I think we
Yes,
could get it
well-
better.
One of the things that I think can help solve most of this, and we're getting really close to having this really kind of kicked out with programs of study, is if you remember all this year, we've been working on a course catalog. And that course catalog is, it's going to have Cody Moore's program of study, but it's also going to have, I was going to say Nick Cox, but Nick Cox isn't going to be there. It's going to have a college-bound, pathway. A parent will be able to open it up just like any course catalog and say, these are the classes you're going to have for all, and they will be able to check that course catalog to what their student brings home and be able to check that PEP from year to year and really do, and not just a 4-year plan, but a 5-year, start in 8th grade, and use our advisory period to do career exploration, figure out what the kid's interested in, and start sending this stuff home in 8th grade, getting the course catalog in the parents' hands so they can have the conversations.
They
So when
did
they pick that,
some of that this year.
Right.
yes.
They had to go through series of questions that would direct you, like to
Right.
what your future interest was. But even connecting that to what Colton brought home, I was like, well, I don't know what classes you need in 9th grade to go to college. I don't have a clue. I'll just have to call somebody.
Well,
'Cause-
One thing too, dealing with parents, we had probably 95% of our parents came in. Sometimes it was after school when they could get there, and my counselors, they were dealt with, if they had to stay over, they were taken care of. But some parents came in during the day. But we got better than 95% of our parents were present and had a hand in it. And that occurred every year in the spring when we started this. He no longer wants to go to the Career Center. He wants to be college prep, or he's at college prep, and that's not going to cut it. He's going to go to nursing, down to healthcare, and
Well, I mean, you can do Zoom, anything. There's just so
Right.
many options
But
now.
like I said, I think a lot of it is, it's paper. Then you can convert it over. It doesn't have to be done the other way to start with. Make it as easy for the parent. If I had to look at a computer and do that right now, I'd throw it at you. But
Yeah, I don't care about Weavis. As a
And
parent,
nothing,
it's
in the
useless.
program of study, it needs a list. If you're going in the 9th grade, it needs to tell the parent, these are the classes that we
Yeah.
recommend taking. This is what you should see.
right,
Now, you have a few options, but it's limited. But you should see, English 9, world studies. You should see these classes. We are working on getting all of that created.
the other thing I might suggest, I don't know that it had some bearing for us, but if you completed a program of study on your diploma, we put a seal, and we got the seals depending on the program of study. And what that did for us was, it said you completed it. So the teachers, the faculty, me, there was a buy-in, and we said, if you complete this, you'll be successful. At least better than what we are now. Now, it didn't make your diploma worth anymore, but the school system was saying they did what we asked them to do, and therefore, and something can be changed. But like I said, in my mind, we're asking him to do something in his time frame that can't be done. He's trying to get it done.
I think we need to look at I don't even know what their official, but some kind of career readiness or curriculum readiness or something in the future, getting somebody in there that can do those things.
Well, and Mr. Fox, if I need your help for a second, because this is a real life situation that had occurred this year that I didn't quite understand. So I'm looking at this and I see BCA being taught and I see 4 sections of personal finance on like 2 different teachers. So I guess my first question is personal finance, is that a required or is that an elective course? Okay, because as a CTE person, I think your CTE class is your BCA. So I had a student come to my program that, of course, done well, but I took him to competition and a simple task like Microsoft Access, they couldn't do because he'd never had BCA before. So again, if from a career and technical aspect, I would say we're losing career and technical money at the high school, because I think you all need to have some more programs up there too. I mean, versus sending them to the center wide. But if we're teaching more personal finance than we are the actual career and technical money, our program, I think we're off balance. I mean, to me, it lost balance because I was amazed. He goes, Mr. Moore, I didn't have that. And I said, what do you mean? I mean, when I was in school, we had BCA 1, we had BCA 2, and you had to take it. So, I mean, I guess it's just the changes that the state's made. But it's like keyboarding. You only make teach keyboarding anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
So
what-
how
that's
how
I'm
can
too
you
old
miss
for that.
foundational
Yeah, I didn't know what you
steps
said, yeah.
and expect them to have me teach them coding? What's
They
never
don't know how to type.
it's never gonna happen. Like
It used to be for years now, when I worked there, Gilmer County, it used to be a requirement. It was an additional local requirement that all students had BCA. That has long years ago went to the wayside. Now we only teach a section or 2 of BCA, and it's most of the people that are going into the business completer programs. But personal finance is one that the state, that's a new requirement.
Yeah.
And all students have to have personal finance now.
I would suggest to you, like I said, with your program of study, we'll take welding and that would be talk to the welding instructor and say, what math classes do they need? What is necessary? And if he says geometry, then those kids going to welding are going to take geometry. And I don't know of a welder that you would actually talk to that will tell you they don't use geometry every day. Now, like I said, I wouldn't be a welder. First time he told me that, I'd change careers. And because it and I don't play together,
Well,
and
those
I'm a
are all
math
good
person.
points, and if we get that catalog together,
Yeah.
that would help too.
We will get, of course, we'll be there throughout the summer. We'll come up with a game plan of making this more efficient and getting the parents involved with this and making sure that this is matching and try to, and not try, but to match it better with the schedule here moving forward. And we'll start working on that as, we get back to the drawing board right now this week.
And like I said,
Sounds
I
good.
thank you, sir, for
Yep,
dealing
thank you.
with those bodies and all of that. I understand how that is, more so than kind of most. But like I said, if you want to increase your scores, what students request is what their program demands, and that's what you got to offer. That's
Thank
it.
you very
Yep,
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All righty. Had so much discussion, we didn't forget where we were.
Mhm.
We're in the superintendent's update. Yeah, adjourned.
Update, we got the science classroom stuff rolling in. We're getting pallets of stuff and be able to give you more of an update once we get it all in and accounted for and all of that. The slip, just to give you a heads up on the slip, we contacted Dave Bell, local contractor, to see if he could fix that. It's a surface slip. He believes he can fix that. So we're just going to go ahead and get him to fix that slip. That way it's taken care of. It doesn't seem to have went back. It looked like a lot where we built the new steps was just kind of put over there. And then when it rained, it kind of slid off. So it looked worse in the picture than when we got up there. It looks like it can be fixed and fixed fairly cheaply. And then, if we'd ever have to have more problems with it, we might have to go into something more extensive, but we're going to try to
Thank
fix it.
God we have an extra $200,000.
Yeah.
That won't cost Davey. We don't have to approve it. He's probably gonna do it for free.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question
Yeah.
or make a request? Or Where you come down from the back parking lot, where parents are, you drop off, you go down. Can we do something?
I'm getting ready to give an update on that.
Okay, good, 'cause it's bad.
It's in my update. Just wanted to give you a few updates. We need to have a policy committee. We got several policies that we probably need to have a couple here in July so we can be ready for the start of the year. Next week I go to ASA. I'll be through Thursday, and of course West Virginia Day's Friday, and then I go on vacation. So I'll be kind of in and out, and if you need me, just let me know. The paving, JT's been measuring parking lots. He's, working diligently. We should hopefully by next week get a paving bid out and hopefully get somewhat of a solution with the paving. We plan to do the teacher parking lot and then go in those different areas to where the worst is. And actually, that was our third rated spot. That wasn't the second. We've had a few people have accidents on the east wing side where the students get out of their vehicles in the morning. So we decided to do that second because that's where the students are actually walking. And then the third location.
Potholes there.
Yeah, the potholes there. The third location is that's up there behind. And we plan to bid that out with alternatives, alternative 1, 2, 3. So we're going to try to take the $150,000 we budgeted last year and the $150,000 we budgeted this year and do as many of those alternatives as we can. But I will tell you this, paving is very expensive.
What is the 1, 2, what is that? Is that
It's an alternative bid. So we plan to do the teacher parking lot because that's where the most traffic walks through.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you.
And then we'll have an
I thought that's
alternative.
how you were going to show, broadcast the bids or.
Yeah, then we'll
Are you gonna
alternative.
personally send those to paving companies looking
We're
up
going to
paving?
send them to paving companies, and
I have a few of those. I've worked for several
That would
over
be-
the last couple of years.
we need to try to get it in and get it done before school starts. But we want to send those to different paving companies around the state and then list it and get the word out so we can get bids back, competitive bids.
The feeling you're dealing with that road back behind there, are we gonna shut access to that off? That's not really a real safe place to be going. Dropping them off and driving behind the school, that's what caused part of that.
That's a whole nother discussion for another day.
Okay, I'm just, you said paving, so I realize it's gotta be done. But that road, when it was built, wasn't designed for traffic. It was just designed to get people back to the ag building and
Right.
all of that. And it was built with SBA specs. There's a foot of gravel and a foot of asphalt on top of that thing, but it wasn't designed. That's why the ditch caved in. It wasn't designed for that. Plus, you're dealing with safe schools, 21 vehicles back there that you have no control over. That's my opinion. But like you said, that's another day. Shut up.
So we do have, we are gearing up to do the paving bid, and hopefully we can get that paved this summer. That's our goal. And then lastly, I wanted to say congratulations to the boys baseball team. They had a good win. They're really playing hard, and I think they play Thursday at 10 against St. Joe's, and just wish them luck and keep up the hard work, and hopefully we can have a state championship in baseball this year. That's all I've got.
All righty, that'll move us into board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Chapman.
I'm just curious, did we have any attendees for boys state and girls state this year and who they were?
We do. I don't have the names specifically off the top of my head, but I do know that there are some individuals in Boys State because it is running into this week. And one of those individuals are on the baseball team.
All right.
So it's
Yeah.
we're trying to get things worked out,
Yeah.
how's practice work.
I'd like to just know who those are so we can commend them on that.
I can
That's-
give you guys those, all those names.
And then I wanted to say that keep your eye, like people watching, keep your eye on your phones for flex days, basketball flex days and football flex days, I'm sure are going to be beginning. But I know basketball, junior high basketball starts this Wednesday, 10:30 to noon at the board office, elementary gym. And then I also would like to commend the girls on the softball team on their good season. And it was kind of heartbreaking at the end, but they had a really good season, a lot to be thankful for. I guess that's not the word I'm
30
looking for.
wins. That's good. That's a good season.
Yeah, and then I wish the boys the best of luck. I'd like to see them go all the way to the show. So good luck to them.
Yep, I'll echo Mr. Chapman's comments, and yeah, I hope the baseball team goes all the way. I think we've, again, wrapped up a good year, getting planning for next year already. It never ends, so just keep moving forward. Dr. Miller.
I want to hope everyone has a great summer. Put the phones down, take the phones away, give them a book. Reading improves academic performance and makes your brain grow. So have a good summer, everyone.
Mr. Freshour.
I have nothing extra to add.
All right. Mr. Bart.
Well, with the Career Center, Mr. Fox, this might help you out too. There'll be two new course offerings. One is robotics, and the other one is power equipment systems, which I would call small engine repair for a poor old person like me. But those will be two things that'll be added this summer or for next fall. And we have hired a new health occupations instructor. She was a former teacher at Fairmont and Pierpont for nurses. Her husband's a doctor. Her name is Tanya Kivak. Carpenter instructor, we hired a new one, that is Austin Ratliff. And Andrew Butcher, the RIF for him for CWST was rescinded, so he'll be back in that part of it. The hot water system down there is kind of like the one out here at the high school. It is, except that one's going out for bid. And the bid date for the food labs is still looking to get a couple things finalized before it goes out. But it's more than just the food kitchen itself. It will make the whole facility down there inside look a whole lot different. But like I said, the robotics and power system should maybe help you out a little bit. And congratulate the softball team and the baseball team on their performance. The girls track team was 6 out of 23 at the state track meet. And I congratulate everybody on a very good year. Test scores were up. Things are moving in the right direction. So I hope everybody has a good and safe summer.
Larry, so the teacher that takes all the nurses to the competitions and stuff and has won all the stuff the last couple of years, we're losing her down there.
She went to Roane County to be the instructor of the nursing program.
Yeah,
Nursing. Yep.
But like
I
I
don't
said,
doubt
this
that. She
lady,
does a pretty good job.
yeah, this lady that they hired was the instructor at Fairmont State and
Sounds really good.
Piedmont. So
Yeah.
we replaced 3 we lost. We replaced with 3 good people.
Any other comments from board members?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. We adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
I guess where I'm going. I'll give you a hand.